Hi everyone, this is Karen Leslie. I'm your WordPress fairy godmother from KISS WP Websites. That's Keep It Simple Sweetheart WordPress websites. This video is how to set up a new user on your WordPress website. I'm going to share my screen. Now I'll actually go back a step and go back to the dashboard. So when you log into the back end of your website, you will see some version of dashboard. I say some version because some have a different setup depending on designers and developers, but this is the bog standard WordPress backend here. It's on a demo website. To create a new user, you scroll down and you'll see users here. You can click on all users to see who you've already got on the website. This is a demo website, so it hasn't got very much, and that's fine. To add a new user, you click on Add New. Now, if you don't see the users there in that left-hand column, it will mean that you don't have full administrator access. You need to contact your developer or designer to find out how you get full access to the back end. You want to create a username. I wouldn't use the person's real name. I know it's easy for you potentially to remember who it is, but you're actually going to put their first and last names here. So, and you don't particularly want to just use admin either, because admin is just one of the standard ones that everybody knows comes as standard when you set up a website. So you want to create something that's a bit different. You want to enter in their email address. Now, the reason for entering in the email address, and I can't type and talk at the same time, we've just discovered. The reason that you enter an email address is because you're actually going to send them the link so they know how to log in and to reset their password if you need to. If they ever did need to reset their password, this is the email address that would receive the link to reset their password. So if you set a user up with your own email address, they're never going to be able to reset their password, so that's not a good idea. Here you can enter the first name and their last name. Website, you can tend to skip unless you're particularly setting up users from outside of your organization and you want to put the website in there. WordPress will generate a password for you. That's this one here, and it's telling you that it's a strong password. It generated it. With a new user, you can either take a copy of this, so Control and C will take a copy of this password and then send it to them. You don't want to email somebody your password. Email is not a secure way of transmitting passwords. You can do it through a password manager, or you can type it in and send it to them on your phone as a text message. But don't just copy and paste it into an email. I know it's convenient, but it's also risky when people are interrupting emails, unless your email is completely encrypted end to end and then unencrypted at the client's end, but that's going to be unlikely unless it's within your same organization. The send user notification is important because we're going to have that ticked. So that means the new user will be sent an email on this email that you've entered up here, and it will give them the choice of whether to reset their password. Now, make it clear to anybody who's signing into the back end of your website that you do want a secure website, so you don't want passwords such as password or password 1234. You actually do want a strong password to secure your website. Your website is important to your business and organization. The other part that's really important here is role, because this is the various roles that people can have on your website. If you're setting myself up, your WordPress fairy godmother, for a web care plan, I will need administrator access because I'll be performing backups, I'll be updating plugins. So for that reason, I need full access. Administrator access does give you access to absolutely everything on the back end of your website. So you really only want to give it to people who know what they're doing and who are confident about what they're doing, that actually need it. If somebody is coming in just to add or edit content, they can have editor access. They don't need administrator access. And if somebody is writing content for your website that's then going to be approved, maybe by the editor, then they only need author or contributor even, that said wrong, contributor access. They don't need administrator access. So be aware that a level of security is knowing the roles that people will play in the back end of your website and what they actually need. So like I said, for web care plans, I do need administrator access, and you can click on add new user. So when that happens, an email will be sent to that email address. And as you can just see, I use RoboForm as a password manager. An email will be sent to that email address, and I will be given a choice whether to change the password at that time. If you want to go in and edit the role, you'll see that the nickname there is required. Now, the nickname can be anything, and then display the name publicly as, you'll see that there are choices. You can either have the nickname, you can actually have my real name, or you can have the user ID. I would suggest not the user ID. You can either have a name or the nickname, and just click on update user. Now, what you might have seen now is you can set up two-factor authentication if you wish to. This is from WordFence. If you have WordFence on your website, it's a free plugin. Freemium, there's a paid version and there's a free version. But if you don't want that, then you don't have to have it. So that is how to set up a user, the back end of your website. I can stop the screen share. Back to me again. That's how to set up a user. It's relatively easy. It's more about knowing which role is appropriate to the person who's using the back end of your website. And if you're not sure, drop me an email, helpinghand@kisswpwebsites.com.au, and I can give you a helping hand. This is Karen Leslie, your WordPress fairy godmother from Kiss WP Websites. That was how to set up a new user on your WordPress website.